You cannot fight or get out of the system with the same rules as the system is being played in. This is the message I woke to at 1 a.m. in the morning. How inspirational. I mean, this is the very thing that ties everything I'm writing together. Of course we can't get out of the matrix or veil that's been pulled over our eyes to blind us by playing their game. And their game is a logical 5-sense game, one that has blinded us all. So we have to look outside the box. We need to look deeper at ourselves, at our very reality and existence on this beautiful planet that we call home. So the matrix that we were pulled into is one that blinds us. But how can you show someone who has never seen to see again? There has to be some trust from their part as well. They would have to learn to understand that there is way more to their reality than meets the eye. The confusion at the moment is due to those that are trying to keep you in the matrix. They are sending out so much corrupt information and confusion so that they can throw you off. But I can tell you now, step out of their rules and you will see more of your magnificence. You will find that they can no longer throw you off because you will trust yourself and your decisions after realizing what they have stopped you from seeing within yourself. And that doesn't mean that everyone's going to follow exactly the same path when we wake up. We all have the unique fingerprints, so to speak, but our reality will be of a heightened state, an inner journey reflected out rather than looking outside to appease our inner selves. Let's then take a closer look outside of the logical box and inside your potential magnificence. You have been taught in schools and at home that you can trust certain things about yourself, but other things you cannot trust. If you really think about this, you are told that you are born with abilities that don't serve you. This in itself is the matrix. It is the blinding. A baby cannot speak and can hardly see, but it can feel. It can sense when it's loved or not wanted and what makes it feel uncomfortable, so it cries. We are taught to distrust our gut, our feelings, even though we are naturally born with this gift. So how do you trust yourself again? I did it by trial and error. I've written it into this book and I've also got a video on YouTube called How to Decipher the Truth. It's the first video that I've produced for this book. The other thing is, they have made you feel so guilty about being human that you now have to fight yourself within. This emotional guilt comes from not being or feeling good enough, as your inner self knows your magnificence, but you deny this to fit into the system or the matrix. This then creates an implosion of frustration within us that we are trying to control outside of ourselves. Then anger derives from trying to control that which we cannot control, and hate comes from dislike of someone or something that we can't control. It all starts with guilt. They use this emotion of our guilt derived from losing your identity to have you fight each other. Once you realize this, you can see yourself and your abilities to trust your gut as important. The first thing you do is to change your focus from fitting into the system to find out the truth for you. Then you can learn to observe your feelings and see which ones are coming from guilt and frustration and those coming from an inner knowing. A great exercise is when you feel something or have a gut feeling about something for no apparent reason, instead of denying it, pretending it doesn't really matter, feel into it and see what thoughts arise from it. Keep it in the back of your mind and go on with your daily routine, and then observe your reality and see if something similar or the same shows up in your life to prove your gut instinct was right. And then you can work up from that. You can start to realize what your gut instinct is telling you, and if it is wrong, I would go back to that feeling and reassess my thoughts and think, if I got a blockage, say it's something sad that you're feeling about your partner, and your blockage is fear of losing him, and so you've shut yourself down from that gut instinct, then I would work on that blockage. Then I would reassess how I felt about myself. If I didn't have my partner in my life, am I still a whole person? I would start working on that. It's trial and error with instincts, and if you keep it up, you will slowly start to see this pattern emerging that you can trust, and you can start to see the pattern emerging when you can't trust yourself. That is very important, so that you can step out of the matrix, because you need to learn to trust your instincts that are so valid to you and who you are as a human again.